Well, an incident over the weekend, once again highlighting the safety of Teslas. This was a Tesla Plaid that caught fire in Pennsylvania. It took a long time to extinguish. Reportedly, the owner of the car was actually a fairly significant investor in the company. Our Pras Subramanian is here. And there was also a report in the New York Times that sort of detailed the safety issues that the company's been having with autopilot, Pras. And it's so fascinating to me. These reports keep piling up. Investors don't really seem to care.
Yeah, and it's a little surprising. I mean, to me personally, the battery fire was most concerning because of the fact that it sort of came out of nowhere and the owner was trapped in the vehicle. But with regards to this New York Times story and the autopilot, the big question here is, are we going to continue to be beta testers for Tesla technology? That's the question that, NHTSA, the National Highway and Traffic and Safety Administration, has to deal with, because, there has been at least 24 investigations into autopilot crashes, and NHTSA is investigating 10 deaths because of that. So the autopilot stuff is a bit more, it's voluntary from the user point of view, but it's actually Tesla putting a lot of technology in the hands of users that may not be mature yet. We myself, Rick Newman and I tested the GM Super Cruise technology, and that had more of a monitoring effect on the driver, whereas Tesla's technology here, autopilot, doesn't necessarily track your eyes or your actual attention to the road. So I think it's a big question for NHTSA and also for investors who, like you said, are shaking this off because they don't see it as a kind of a major mover with regards to the onslaught of where this company is going, but when it hits 200,000 vehicle deliveries every quarter, or this most recent quarter. Yeah,
I mean, again, when we talk about the role of NHTSA, historically, what has been the bar, right? Whether we're talking about the fires or autopilot, like at what point does NHTSA step in and say, well, Tesla, you have to improve your monitoring technology in the autopilot, or, they have done some investigations of the battery fires in the past, but what are we expecting further from them?
NHTSA doesn't really have the guidelines that say, hey, if you have 10 deaths with regards to this other technology, then you need to kind of tail it back a little bit. So I think it's more of they have to kind of feel the flow of what they're seeing in incident rates, because I have to imagine that, with other companies like GM Super Cruise, there aren't any deaths, right? Whereas Tesla has a bunch of them. Now Tesla has more vehicles on the road, and we're going to see more of these happen as more and more cars come online here. But it kind of makes me think about the fact that Elon Musk said as much at the Tesla Plaid event that he wants to take choice away from users, because he thinks that's the safest option, is for users to have less input. And I don't think we're there yet with the level 2 and not even level 3 autopilot driving we have so far. It's not there yet, and I think NHTSA. I have to ask what will it take for them to actually step in and say, you know what, you need to tail this back, or you need to add more monitoring features for the drivers.
Hey, Pras, switching gears here. I know you own a couple of Bugattis here. Are you surprised to see the Volkswagen news this morning?
I'm not, and let me get into that. It's a really kind of a complicated deal with Rimac, a upstart electric company in Croatia that has been doing a lot of engineering for other companies, taking on a majority stake here in Bugatti, with Porsche, a Volkswagen portfolio company, holding 45%. But I'm not surprised to see it, because Bugatti is a 112-year-old company that's been sort of making these one-off supercars that sell for $3 million and are all gas-powered. But the future is electric, right? And we had the Bugatti America's COO on Yahoo Finance a couple months ago, and he spoke about how they had no choice in terms of electrification, that it was going to be, there's no way to avoid it, is what he told us. But then I also asked him about a spin-off or an IPO or any kind of one of those types of ventures, and he said that would give them the flexibility to, quote, push the envelope. And I think pushing the envelope here means, how can you make a supercar electric? And the Rimac guys have already done that with the Navara 1,000 horsepower supercar that I know, Sozzi, we might have to put an electric motor into your Firebird. That might actually make it kind of compete with that car.
I'm all for it. Well, actually, no, I'm not all for it. No, I'm all about keeping it stock. I don't want any electric motors in my 91 Trans Am. I'm just saying here. Good luck with your Bugattis, though.
I have to say, you guys, I enjoy your Instagram accounts, especially when you guys have the good car content. So everybody should check that out as well. Pras, thanks so much for being here this morning and talking us through all the car stuff.